Welcome to qiphyedu. Today we're looking at economics, A2 level, paper 32, February, March 2023. Alright, let's start. Okay, so for the first question, it says utility theory is based on the assumption of the rational consumer and what is necessary to act as a rational consumer. Okay, so for rational consumer, they should have access to complete information, so they have no information failure. Therefore, A is incorrect. So we only have B, C, D left. So let's look at addictive behavior. So rational consumer will spend based on what they need and the things that can also maximize their satisfaction, but not being addicted to it. If they're being addicted to it, this means that they are not choosing the item rationally. Therefore, there should be no addictive behavior. So C is incorrect. So we're now left with B and D. And then choice is independent of other consumers. So you're not buying because of other people buying it. You're buying it because you personally want to use that item. You yourself are satisfied with it, not because of other people buying it. So you're also buying it. So therefore, B is incorrect. So I'll say it's D. Okay. Question 2. The price of good S is $6 and the price of good T is $8. A consumer's margin utility for each good is shown. And if this consumer wants to maximize total utility, which combination of goods would they consume? So now we can calculate based on the equity margin principle. So that will be MUX divided by PX equals MUY divided by PY. Okay, so we need to get the same value. All right, so let's look at these units and see which one gives us the same value. So let's just look at A first. Okay, A, good S is 1 and good T is also 1. So just take 36 and we divide by 6, we get 6. And then if you take 32 divided by 8, we get 4. So this one, let's put 6 and 4. So A is incorrect. And then B is 24 and 22. 24 divided by 6, we get 4. 22 divided by... And then for this one, 1, because it's only 1 unit for good T, so it's also 4. So yes, B is correct. But let's look at the other two options. For C, it's 3 units of good S and 4 units of good T. Okay, so if it's 3 units of good S, 18 divided by 6, we get 3. And then 4 units, that will be 18 divided by 8, we'll get 2 we'll get 2, then 2.25. So this is incorrect because it's not the same value. And D, good S is 5 and good T is also 5. So 5 is already 0, so 0 divided by 6, you get 0. And then 9 divided by 5, you get... 9 divided by 8, you get 1.11 something, so like 1.11. So this is incorrect, so answer is B. Question 3, the diagram shows the effect of a price change on the individual's consumer equilibrium moving from E1 to E2. And what can be deduced from the diagram about the price change, the substitution effect, and the income effect? Okay, so you can see the price change here is that you can see that you can now buy more of good X, so the price of X has fallen. So for 3, C and D is wrong because the price of X falls. Okay, so here the substitution effect would be we can take a look at the substitution effect first. The substitution effect is basically as you can see here, with the same amount of income, you're buying more of good X, so substitution effect is positive. And then the income effect here, because it's here the substitution effect, you see that if let's say it's E2 and then you move back, you realize that you're buying more with X, right? So you buy more with X, that'll be a substitute, so that's positive. But then the income effect here, it is shifting in, so this one is negative, so this one is positive substitution effect and negative income effect. So one says B. Right. Question 4, what is likely to help create dynamic efficiency? Alright, so let's look at the 4 options. A, it says entry barriers are reduced to increase competition. This is incorrect. B, it says firms are legally bound to produce where price equals to marginal cost. Price equals marginal cost is allocative efficiency, so that's incorrect. And C, it says taxes on profits are raised to encourage firms to produce where price equals average cost. Incorrect. That's not how you achieve dynamic efficiency. And D, it says taxes on retained profits are reduced to encourage investments in new technology. So Yes, because if you invest in new technology, then you'll be able to increase your efficiency, therefore creating dynamic efficiency because of technology. So answer is D. Question 5, at which level of output is sales maximization achieved consistent with earning normal profit? So that would be AC equals to AR, so it's point D. So answer is D. A is MC equals to MR, profit maximization. And then if P equals to MC, which is not in this graph, that will be allocative efficiency. And if MR equals to 0, that will be revenue maximization. That will be B. Right. Question 6, what is achieved in monopolistic competition in the long run? So monopolistic competition in the long run, you'll be able to achieve, you'll not be able to achieve anything. You'll not be able to achieve the normal profit, you'll earn a normal profit. And then you'll not be able to achieve allocative efficiency because in the long run, your allocative efficiency when your P equals to MC, but that is not the case because the demand curve would still be would still look something like this. It will still be not fully elastic, but it looks something like this. Your price increases. Let's say, for example, the MC curve is like this, all right? And then when there's an increase in the average cost, like so, let's say, you'll be producing at a point where the price equals to average cost, which is here, but it's not on the AC curve. So therefore, answer is A. Question 7, the world's largest pharmaceutical companies developed and distributed an effective vaccine to combat a dangerous virus. And what can be associated with this vaccine program? Okay, so A says demerit good and negative production externality is incorrect. This one is it's not demerit good, okay? And it's also not D. D says public good and negative production, so it's incorrect. So it has to be positive consumption externality. Anything here that's negative production externality is incorrect, so answer is B. Imperfect combination and positive consumption externality. Question 8. A landlord owns a house which is rented to tenants. The tenants are required to pay the electricity and water bills. The landlord is required to decorate and repair damage to the house. What is not an example of the principal agent problem? Okay, A says the tenants forget to switch off a tap when filling a bath and water overflows, damaging the floor. This is not a principal. This is a principal agent problem. And B, the tenants have a party and their biggest cause damage to the interior. This one is also a principal agent problem. And C, the tenants leave the lights and TV on when they go off for evening meal. This one would not damage the house in any way. So this is not an example of principal agent problem. D says the tenants park their car in the garden, damaging grass is also damaged. So this one is a principal agent problem. So answer is C. Question 9, the result of a cost-benefit analysis of a proposed government road building project is that there will be a positive net social benefit of $50 million. And why might the government not proceed the project? Okay, so let's look at the 4 options. A says the project will not be profitable for a private firm. This is incorrect because there's a net social benefit of 50 million, so A is incorrect. B says the project will cause negative externalities. This is incorrect as well because negative externalities, it's already mentioned here that the net social benefit is 50 million, so yep. So that's why it's not the answer. C says there's limited capital available, so not enough funding. Yep, that's possible. And D says there will be more from loss and gain, incorrect. I already mentioned that social benefit 50 million, so answer is C. Question 10, if the marginal cost of a good is lower than its price, allocative efficiency has not been achieved, and what is likely to remedy this solution? So MC of a good is lower than its price. So what you can do here is reduce the price of the good, okay? Reduce the price of the good, and also to increase production of the good. So I'd say C, because if you look here, demand of AI and MR, this is your AC curve, and this is your MC curve. So if you want P equals to MC, then you need to increase production, so increase production, and then also decrease the price of the good. That will go both ways, and then you decrease the price of the good. This will be able to increase your allocative efficiency. All right. Question 11, the diagram shows an industry's demand for and supply of labor. Initially, the labor market is in equilibrium. The government introduces a minimum wage of OW0. What will be the effect on the level of employment in the industry? Okay, so when you introduce this minimum wage, your level of employment will decrease because there's a oversupply of workers and then a decrease in the amount of workers. So a decrease will then equal to x and y. Originally it's at this point. Okay, this is your demand and also supply equilibrium, but then it increases to W0. So then the amount of workers lost will be here. So a decrease equal to XY will be the answer. So answer is A. Question 12, the diagram shows the supply curve of labor for two separate markets, X and Y. What explains the difference in the gradients? So A, it says market X has a higher margin revenue product per worker than Y. This one is not correct. B, it says market X has a higher percentage of its labor belonging to a trade union than Y. This is also incorrect. C, market X has higher labor costs as a percentage of total cost than X, which is incorrect. And then D, it says market X has more specific skills and training requirements than Y, so that is correct. Because if you see here, the wage rate is much higher compared to, market Y. You can see that by hiring an additional unit of labor, your wage rate will then increase to X. So if you compare with Y, since you can see that X-axis is quantity of labor and wage rate is Y, then he said in this market, in order for these workers in market X to actually gain a better wage, they have to have better skill sets, right? So this is why the wage rate is much higher. More specifically, it should be D lah. For A, it could be possible. And but then for B, it's not exactly the case because you're not using the trade union curve to diagram to actually represent this thing. So the best way to explain this is the specific skills and training requirements. So answer is D. Question 13, the table shows the main characteristics of employment in two occupations and what can be deduced from the table. Alright, so A, it says those employed occupation Y attach greater importance to job security. Okay, let's look at the options here. At average annual wage is $60,000. Number of weeks of annual leave is 10 weeks. Average length of working week is 44 hours. Job security is high. And length of training course to obtain job qualification is 2 years. It could be possible, but let's look at the other few options here. B, it says those employed in occupation X attach less importance to leisure activities. Not exactly. C, there will be more competition for places on training courses to enter occupation X than occupation Y. This is definitely incorrect because the length of... sorry, this is correct, but then it only really specifically look at the training course. B, it only looks at leisure activities. Okay, and then A only looks at job security. Then for D, it says occupation Y has more non-pecuniary advantages. So occupation Y has more non-pecuniary advantages. So yep, these three. So what can we definitely deduce would be D. So answer is D. Question 14, which changes in direct and indirect tax are likely to increase the inequality in the distribution of income in the developed economy, increase the inequality in the distribution of income? So direct taxes will fall and indirect taxes would rise. So answer is B. Question 15, a government wishes to reduce the use of cars in cities. Which policy should be used? A is incorrect because if you decrease parking charges, people will use cars. And then B, lowering tax will also result in more usage of cars. Restricting cycling will also result in more cars being used. So answer is D, subsidizing public transport so that more people will take public transport. Question 16. In a country, the top 20% of earners pay 45% income tax and 25% of sales tax and receive 5% in cash benefits. And what is the percentage of disposable income for this group? Okay, so for this one, they pay 45% in income tax and 25% in sales tax. Okay, so your 45% is already on the income tax. So that would be 55% left, and then your cash benefit is 5%, so add up we get 60%. Okay, so you need to remember that for sales tax, it's indirect taxes. You can choose to pay or not to pay for the indirect taxes. This is only possible when you're purchasing an item, let's say from the supermarket. then you may need to pay the sales tax. So before you pay for that, your income can still be used for something else. So it's disposable income. Therefore, the percentage of disposable income would be 60%. So answer is C. Question 17. Which combination of circumstances is most likely to lead to an increase in the country's budget deficit? So your total GDP would then have to decrease. So C and D is wrong. Unemployment would increase and government spending, there will be no change. So answer is B. Because if your government spending decreases, there's still a chance that your country's budget deficit will not be terrible, or it will not be significant. But if there's no change in government spending and the total GDP falls, also known as total income, then and then at the same time unemployment rises and you need to pay more welfare benefits, then yes, there will be a chance that your country's budget deficit would increase. All right. So question 18, which statement applies to a central bank and to a commercial bank? All right. So for this one, central bank will be able to issue bank notes. This is yes, but then commercial bank, no. So A is incorrect. And then B, lenders of the last resort, not both. And then C, central bank will not maximize profit, commercial bank will. And then the one that will be receiving the deposits directly from the government should be central bank, not commercial. So answer is C. Question 19, what is most likely to be the biggest contribution to sustainable economic growth in a developed economy? So sustainable economic growth. So let's say A, it says a movement of people from rural to urban areas will not contribute to that because there will be more houses built and all those. B says an increase in technical training. Yes, because technical training so that people would be able to use more capital goods, improve and then maybe produce renewable energy sources and all those. And C says an increase in the size of population that will result in not sustainable economic growth because there will be more people consuming stuff. It will result in more pollution. And D says rising consumer credit levels. This is incorrect. So answer is B. Question 20, which policy is likely to increase unemployment? A, it says an increase in retraining facilities. Incorrect, because this will reduce unemployment. B, it says a significant increase in indirect taxes. Yes, because then because more people have to pay the indirect taxes, then they would probably have no disposable income. C says the imposition of selective import controls. This would increase employment. D says an increase in the public sector deficit, increase the aggregate demand. So this is incorrect. So answer is B. Question 21, what does the accelerator principle state? So accelerator principle basically is basically when the change in investment is based on the change of the income. So 21, let's look at A, B, and D. A says consumption is a function, incorrect, because in the cycle for income, consumption is not part of your injections. B says income is a function of the rate of change in investment, so it's multiplier. And then C is correct because the investment is a function of the rate of change of income. D says investment is a function of the rate of interest, incorrect. So answer is C. Question 22, which government aim is least likely to be achieved using macroeconomic monetary policy measures? Okay, which government aim? So A says low unemployment level. This would be possible, so it's not correct. B says more equal income distribution. This one is not possible. C says stable exchange rate possible. D says steady price level possible. Right. So least likely to be achieved using macroeconomic monetary policy measures. So monetary policy basically meaning money supply and interest rates. So if you want to create a more equal income distribution, you need to use fiscal policy, right? Increasing the direct taxes and all those. So that's why it's incorrect. Or say least possible. So I'll say B. Question 23, a government adopts an expansionary fiscal policy to increase the economic growth rate. Which other main macroeconomic aims is the policy most likely to help? Expansionary fiscal policy will result in full employment. So B and C is wrong. Stable price level, no, because it will increase the price level, also known as inflation. And then by increasing your expenditure, it will result in a deficit. So answer is D. Question 24, country X decides to devalue its currency to eliminate a balance of payments deficit. Why might devaluation have a positive effect on its macroeconomy? Let's look at the 4 options. A says competitive pricing of exports may create employment potential. Yes. At the same time, you also create increase in the exports. B says foreign importers may depreciate their own currencies and reduce any advantage. This is not a positive effect, but a negative effect. And C, it says inelastic demand for imported raw materials may lead to cost inflation in country X, which is not a positive effect. And D says loss of import duties by country X may reduce government backing for trade promotion, also a negative effect. Therefore, answer is A. Question 25, which cause of economic growth would involve the least cost for present and future generations of the country's population? So which cause of economic growth will involve the least cost? So A says increase in exploitation, this would result in higher costs. B said investment finance by borrowing, which causes something as well. And then C, investment finance by high rates of domestic savings, is also going to cost future generations as well. So it should be D, technological innovations, because it will then increase efficiency and production. Okay, so for question 26, it says which additional components may be included when measuring economic development that are not included in measures of economic growth. Okay, so changes in the distribution of GDP is not included in economic growth. Level of poverty is also not included in economic growth, but real income per capita is included in economic growth. So this will be no. So it should be yes, yes, and no. So answer should be C. Question 27, which curve is shown in the diagram? This one is the Cass's curve, which is about income inequality. It's not a Laffer curve because it's not about tax, and it's not about Lorentz curve and Phillips curve as well. It says A. Question 28, which indicator is least likely to be used when measuring the comparative economic development of an economy? So this one would be size of population. The ones that will be about economic development should be mean years of schooling, average life expectancy, and the level of real GDP. So size of population doesn't matter here. And then 29, what is an example of an expenditure switching policy, changing your expenditure to something else? So A says the increase in income tax, incorrect. This expenditure reducing. B, increase in interest rates, not correct as well. C says an increase in tariff rates. This is correct because now you'll be buying less of foreign goods. And then D, increased supply, is incorrect, so I'll say C. Question 30, labor from low-income countries often migrates to high-income countries and via jobs. How would such a movement of labor be likely to affect the economic growth and the pressure on wage rises in the high-income country? Okay, so economic growth would increase, but then your pressure on wage rises would actually decrease because of an increase in the supply of labor, so your wage would then decrease. Your pressure to increase your wages would then decrease, right? So this is the end of this paper. I hope you guys find this video helpful. Do share this video out to other people who may need help with economics A2 level. As always, I hope to see you guys again in the next video. Till then, this is qiphyedu. Goodbye.